Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com. Hey, thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here comes hour one. I tell you, every time you turn around, Amazon's doing something else. Now, if you live within 75 miles of Dallas, Houston, LA, or Seattle, you can now shop Hertz's used rental cars on Amazon Autos. That's right. So not only just Hyundais, and then you pick it up at a Hertz lot within 3 days. They're expanding to 45 cities because, let's just face it, Amazon's not going to stop until you can buy every single thing from them. But I bring this up to you just as a warning, because if you're sitting there on a Saturday night, one too many, tipsy, and you're thinking, wow, I think I need a new car. Is that suddenly you'll be able to have a car just delivered right to your front door. Isn't that something? And I want you to work with me on this because, you know, one of my favorite movies is Cars, because I am a Cars girl. And there's something about the Cars movie that has always bothered me, is that they called it Radiator Springs. You know what I'm talking about? That whole town, Radiator Springs. Now, a radiator is like an essential, vital organ to a car. It's kind of like humans having a city called Liverpool. Oh, and on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, because you just tapped into America's largest show about all things digital. It's the best show. It's the trusted show. It's the only award-winning show. And it's called The Kim Komando Show because I just happen to be America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And let me tell you, you can find the show on over 425 top stations across the U.S., plus every podcast and streaming app you can name. Just search my last name, Komando, with a K, and then hit play. And if you want to see the magic, head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando. And that's where you can see the show in all of its glory. And while you're there, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so this way you never, ever miss anything that we post there. And of course, my favorite shout out goes to the 375,000 U.S. service members listening on American Forces Network Radio in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise: home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. Love you. And I'd like to thank NetSuite for helping to make this show possible. Over 42,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle. It's the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one platform. So here's the deal. You can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning for free right now at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. Alrighty then, you've heard me say it before every single day. This is what I do. I go all over the internet. I talk to industry insiders. I read white papers. I test things out and I try different gadgets and gizmos to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the tech space, so I can tell you what's going on. So this way you'll always be tech ahead. And here are the top trends you need to know about right now. We're going to start with, after all the warnings about fake text messages, some even coming from the FBI telling Americans, watch out for all those phony texts that say that they're the post office, the IRS, or the State Department of Transportation claiming you have unpaid toll or traffic tickets. And after millions of Americans have lost a ton of money to these scammers, why would one state actually use a text message to actually collect real bona fide unpaid tolls? Why would that happen? Can you guess the state? It starts with the letter C, and it's not Connecticut. California actually sent out real text telling their citizens that if they failed to pay unpaid tolls, they would face stiff fines. Okay. Well, it happened to a woman in California. She ignored the tax because she said, must be phony baloney. California deactivated her toll pass. But had she driven on one of California's toll roads, she could have been arrested. Wow. Earth to Governor Gavin Newsom. Where are you, buddy? Moving on to number 2, I've been on the air with so many of our affiliates talking about this, that there's a new study from UC San Diego. It uncovered what's really going on with the student safety tools that the schools are buying. Now, I'm going to say here right at the top, these are great programs. They're talking about GoGuardian, Embark, and Gaggle, Securely, Lightspeed, or any of the monitoring service that the schools are using. Because let's just face it, we want to make sure that kids don't fall through the cracks. We want to stop bullying. We want to flag mental health struggles. We want to prevent school shootings. But what you may not know is that if you've got kids, that these monitoring programs are morphing into 24/7 surveillance machines. 86% watch kids day and night. 36% monitor the kids on their own devices. As a matter of fact, outside Tucson, Arizona, one kid got flagged because apparently he wrote a text message that he never sent, and then it got flagged in the system. And his parents are saying, like, what's going on with that? And see, that's the deal. As a parent, you need to know. So here are some questions. What exactly is the school tracking? Are you monitoring personal devices at home? How can you see your kid's dashboard? I would definitely want to see that if I was a parent. And also, how long is the data stored? Can you ask that the data be deleted? Is your kid's data ever sold? Is it ever shared? Is it ever used for anything beyond monitoring? Now, if you're sitting there going like, wow, those are great questions, Kim, how can I get them? Just hit komando.com. They're all posted right there. All right, moving on, let's talk about some AI changes. I want you to be careful what you believe at the Motley Fool site. This happened this past week. Roadzen is an AI research company. Well, their shares nosedived 10% after Motley Fool's Gesture AI hallucinated, means just completely made this crap up, a massive 50% earnings miss in an article. Well, you know what happened after that. Other sites, they said, wow, this is a great article. We ought to post it too. Okay. Wow. Sounds like a lawsuit's going to be brewing over there. Let's see. Moving on. Let's talk about Meta AI. Now you can translate your voice and get auto lip syncing on any video. So you could be sitting there talking in English, and now you could be saying Spanish. All you have to do is select translate your voice with Meta AI before publishing a reel. Now, if you're on Facebook, you need at least 1,000 followers, but anyone on Instagram can actually use it. ¿Dónde está mi cerveza, por favor? And then finally, this about AI. AI cheating is so bad during virtual interviews that companies are saying, oh, we got to go do it the old-fashioned way. I'm talking about companies like Google, Cisco, McKinsey. They're dragging job interviews back into the real world so you can forget about whispering to ChatGPT off screen, because now you have to sweat under fluorescent lights like it's 2015 again. Yes, in case you forgot, in the real world, you have to wear pants. And finally, this coming in at number 4, and Andrew Babinski is my co-host here on the show, and also the co-host of the morning show on KEZ 99.9 FM.
Hi, Kim.
So I'm going to talk about a story.
All right.
And then I want your opinion about it. Okay?
I'm ready.
China is building a humanoid with a synthetic womb that can carry a fetus from start to finish. And here's how it works. The baby making will start with IVF. So they're going to put the egg and the sperm together in a lab to create the embryo. And then it's placed inside this robot's synthetic womb. which, in reality, they don't even need the robot. They could just have the womb sitting right there.
Right. I saw like a mock-up of what it was going to look like, and they made it look like a female. I'm like, why? It could be a box in the corner of the room. What does it matter?
And it provides oxygen, nutrients, and fluid to let the fetus develop. It's delivered through a hose, not like a garden hose.
No.
It's like an umbilical cord.
I thought they would use one of those crazy straws.
Wouldn't that be something?
Woo, woo, woo.
The inventor, Dr. Zhang Kefang, says they're aiming for a working prototype within a year. Price tag $14,000, which is a lot cheaper than a surrogate.
Absolutely.
Friend of mine paid $80,000.
For a surrogate?
Yes,
Okay.
for a surrogate. What do you think?
Well, I think everybody's going to like freak out, right? In the beginning. Like, this isn't human. This is wrong. This is the plot of the movie The Terminator. But we said that when they started doing IVF, test tube babies in the beginning. This isn't right. You're playing God. It's a natural progression when it comes to stuff like this.
And so many people, they go through IVF.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No, we have a former coworker, 4 times, 0 for 4. And he paid cash. He and his wife paid cash every single attempt. $55,000 a pop.
Wow.
Not only would they have $200,000 more dollars now, they'd have a baby and their lives would be changed if this was around a couple of years ago when they were trying.
I have a friend who she went through IVF when she was 39. And I think she paid $50,000.
Yep.
Okay. And then did it again. And that was another $50,000. And now she's 46. She just had twins.
Wow. Through IVF?
Through IVF.
See, 7 years she was trying.
Yeah, exactly. And
At 39, she would have a baby if this was in place.
And then plus all the chemicals you put in your body. I have to believe that it, I don't know if putting all those hormones in your body is a good thing.
So I read this story yesterday, and I was actually thinking about it. The one thing is that the connection between the mother and the baby.
Yeah.
The baby hearing the mother's voice at all times. But we have that with surrogacy. And in the end, we don't know. We haven't been doing it that long. But it seems like we have healthy babies with great emotional connections to their mothers.
Well, my friend who had the surrogate for $80,000, well, he read Harry Potter. Okay. And he had the surrogate play him every night reading Harry Potter.
Smart.
To the baby.
Because that's part of it. I mean, that's part. Hearing the voices, making that connection.
Yeah, it's gonna.
But this isn't the end.
No.
We're not going to stop here. There's going to be more advancements, more use of technology when it comes.
At Blinds.com, it's not just about window treatments. It's about you, your style, your space, your way. Whether you DIY or want the pros to handle it all, you'll have the confidence of knowing it's done right. From free expert design help to our 100% satisfaction guarantee, everything we do is made to fit your life and your windows. Because at Blinds.com, the only thing we treat better than windows is you. Visit Blinds.com now for up to 50% off with minimum purchase plus a professional measure at no cost. Rules and restrictions apply.
To making human beings.
Yeah, we're just bumping along.
Exactly.
Hey, let's talk about big tech wireless companies and the tricks they use. You know that free phone that they promise? Well, you're really paying for it through a locked-in, overpriced monthly plan. And that $15 plan, wow, it sounds so great. Is it too good to be true? It actually is. Most of the time, it's just an introductory price that doubles or even triples later. And the problem is that we are all on cell phone bill standby, meaning like we just get the bill every month and we pay it. Get the bill every month and pay it. And because, we're thinking like, oh, I don't want to have to switch phones. I don't have to switch carriers. I don't want to have to get a new phone number. That's all wrong. I was that way too. Believe it or not, I looked at my bill and I was like, dang, this thing has gotten so high over the last couple of years. It was over $200. That's why I switched to Consumer Cellular. I get the same reliable coverage as the big guys, but let me tell you, for a lot less. Now, if you're 50 and over, you can get 2 lines with unlimited talk, text, and data for just $60 a month. No hidden fees. Just great coverage and customer service, would you believe, right here in the United States? Amazing. In fact, Consumer Cellular was awarded by USA Today one of America's best customer service companies. Now, if you're an AARP member, you can save even more. But right now, you also get $25 off when you start. Just check it out. Prove me wrong, which I don't think you're going to be able to. Go to consumercellular.com/Kim right now. That's consumercellular.com/Kim. Let's see. Coming up, we have, poor woman. Andrew was scammed out of $800,000.
No.
Yeah, 800 grand. And you think if somebody was scammed out of $800,000, that's a lot of money to save, that they would be really savvy.
And when you say poor woman, all I think is like some little old lady sitting in her easy chair knitting, broke as a joke now.
Yeah, thinking about how she's going to pay the bills. We're going to talk about Bluetooth and also what happened when a guy went to Google and asked for a customer service number for a cruise. An unbelievable story. And of course, we just have the best callers ever, and you have us here on the Kim Komando Show. All right. Time is almost up for you to enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro, a $999 value. Go to winfromkim.com. No purchase required. Well, there is a little tiny catch. Is that you are subscribed to my free newsletter, which, let me tell you, you're just going to love it anyway. I mean, you are. And if you are already getting the newsletter, you can still enter to win. Go to winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com.
It's not a catch. It's a benefit.
It is a benefit.
It's free.
But I just like to keep it out there.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows. And it's like, Kim Komando, you signed me up for your newsletter, and I don't want it.
Well, then after you read a couple, you're entered to win, and then you go ahead and stop getting it.
Exactly. But you're not going to want to do that.
No, of course not.
All right. What do you think? Want to take some great phone calls?
That's what we're here for.
All right. How about Bo in Washington, D.C.? Hi there, Bo. Glad to have you with us.
Hi. Thank you, Kim. Hello. It's such a joy to speak to you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for taking my call.
So what's on your mind today?
Well, let me start out by saying, I started listening to you in the 1990s. That was back when you were talking to people and trying to help them figure out how a fax is not an email.
One of my best ones, and Andrew, you remember this call. I don't know if you remember this call, Bo. This guy called in. He was a ghost hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanted a camera so he could capture the ghosts. And I said, well, there's, lucky for you, they just announced the camera that you need. And he's like, oh, camera, what's my camera? What's the camera? And I said, well, it's the spooky 5000. Yeah. And you could hear him writing it down going, spooky 5000.
Is that Kodak?
No, it's Canon. It was a Canon camera. That's what it was.
I remember when I first started working here, one of the first calls that I took, because I started out as the call screener, they had a question about Wi-Fi, and when I typed it up on the screen, I typed the letter Y, F-I-E, Wi-Fi.
And then I came in and went, "Are you stupid or a moron?"
Both.
Okay, come on. Well, thank you, Bo, for your kind words.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Well, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe once a week you have a 3-minute clip of, it's called Flashback, Tech Ahead Flashback, and you bring that younger you back on the show and show what you were doing 30 years ago.
I remember one time I was listening, and she was telling a caller that the email that they were going to sign up for had 256 KB of storage, and that's more than they would ever need.
And you're not going to need anything more than that. Nothing. Well, we have to have some time for you, basically.
Oh, that's true.
So what's on your mind?
Yeah. So that's a good dossier or that's a good segue into the Living Legacy dossier that I want to talk to you about. So I do this project, and the question is, the stuff I'm doing is great for like hobby, because it's like all these applications and stuff, but it's not going to scale very well, and so I think coming to the tech goddess is probably the best thing to do, to say what kind of applications would be best to, look into to try and help this project.
What's the project?
Move forward. Yeah, it's the Living Legacy dossier. So I created this document for my dad. It's about 48 pages. And what it is it's like weaving his history into the larger history, and so if I could just tell a little bit of background. I was military intelligence. Doesn't sound like it right now, but I was military intelligence. And when we're in the military, we're told to like Google our names every once in a while, what's out there about you, So while I was military intelligence, I would Google my name, and my name is the same as my dad's, and so I would find a lot of things about him over the years when I was doing this. Yeah, so I would just save them, and then every once in a while, like I would print something out, and give it to him as like a gift for his birthday or Christmas. Like one time, his dad, not mine, but his dad had a patent, and so I found that patent. It was listed under his name, and I printed it off and gave it to him as his birthday. And then one time, his name was listed in a book about Vietnam because he served in Vietnam. And so I bought the book, and then I gave it to him for Christmas and showed him where his name was in the book. And I did things like that, but I created this repository of data about him.
But here's the thing, Bo. I'm going to make you stop right here, okay? Because I want you to hold that thought. I very rarely do this, but what I want to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and then...
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. Business owners, meet Progressive Insurance. They make it easy to get discounts on commercial auto insurance and find coverages to grow with your business. Quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
And we need to go to a commercial break so we can pay some bills. And then when we come back, we're going to pick up about how to put together what I would guess is probably a gift, a living legacy, and what are some maybe AI tools to help make that magic happen. So just hang on with us, Bo, for that. And someone becomes a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds. That's bank accounts drained, credit ruined, and lives wrecked. I trust NordProtect to scan the dark web and monitor my credit 24/7. They'll alert you fast and cover up to $1 million in identity theft recovery costs. Save 65% right now at nordprotect.com/Kim. Think your personal info is safe online? It's not. Data brokers collect everything about you. I use Incogni to wipe my data from hundreds of sites, and their process is independently verified by Deloitte. That's a big deal. Get 60% off right now at privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. Now, if you're just tuning in, we are deep in conversation with Bo in Washington, D.C., former military intelligence, obviously an astute, intelligent individual.
Well, we knew he was military intelligence because he describes this document he's making for his dad as a dossier.
Yes, a dossier.
I've never had a dossier once in my life. I'm so jealous.
So you put this together for your dad for his birthday, I'm taking it?
Yes, yeah, because I couldn't figure out what to get a 90-year-old, So I was like, what's he going to do with another baseball cap? It says greatest dad. So yeah, and then I remembered I have this folder full of his stuff. So I'm like, I'll put it together. But now with AI, I can put it together and probably make a bunch of bangs and whistles with it. So I got to it, and let's say I chopped up his timeline. He's 90 years old, so there's 9 decades, and each decade I peppered with statistics about the country and cultural data about it. So, but that was all about the time he grew up in, but it wasn't about him. And then I took that folder and I started weaving him into the timeline. Right.
Nice.
And then with thank you. And then with AI, I have some facts and data about stories, but let's say I didn't have the time partially also, but with those facts and data, I wrote I wrote general stories, and then I fed it into AI, which filled it into a more robust story. So now his timeline, it's a narrative that he's actually woven into. And I'll tell you just 2 of the stories if I can. So one of them is his first job, Rehoboth Beach lifeguard, and that job really hasn't changed in 100 years. So if I overlay his personal experience onto the job that hasn't changed, when he reads it, it's still going to read like he still did it. So, and it did, right? It captured that thing. But the other one was because I wrote the story of his firstborn, which is me, but I didn't write it because it was me. I wrote it because of something more significant, because I was born November 4th, 1963. And, that was back when you still worried about the mother in labor because things happened back then, and so there's a lot of anxiety. And then once it's done, all the community comes over, washes dishes, does the laundry, helps cook, watch the baby and everything. But it's the reason I wrote it about was because November 22nd of 1963, JFK was assassinated. Right. And I thought, wow, the emotional whiplash that he must have experienced, I never thought about it until I started drilling into this,
So now do you do you need to do this again? Is that the whole idea, or you want to make this one better, or so what can I lend a hand to?
Yeah. So now I'm doing it more. I mean, I've got requests to do it elsewhere, and I'm like, yeah, this kind of works, but it worked on a personal level. It's not working really on a non-personal level. So so I took all that. Just one more thing. So I took all that once it was done with the repository and the folder, and then I put it into Notebook LM. And then when it's in Notebook LM, you can get those two podcast avatars, to do like a podcast about whatever the content is. Yeah. So they were talking about him. Now he doesn't realize it's two AIs, because even when I listen to it, I can't believe AIs.
It's amazing.
But it's two AIs talking about him. So he's like, God, how did you get these people to talk about me? And I'm like, So
paid him.
So he listens to it, and then even a month later, he's still listening to it. Like he tunes back into it, And then I put an AI chatbot on top of the folder and all the resources and stuff, so he can actually interact with it with himself. So all those things are personal. But now I have people asking, can you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah, but it's got to scale. So if I was to go over each one of the things, I think that would be a little too difficult. But I remember you had somebody on your show, and he was the guy that had created a digital girlfriend. Not an AI girlfriend, but remember he created a digital
doll. The doll?
Version. No, not the doll. No. This was his girlfriend died prematurely, and he tried to recreate her.
Oh, yeah. He used Replica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that would be one of the things I think that I would need to do. And then, so thank you for that. And then it's what else besides Notebook LM, and what can do what Notebook LM does. And then I want to be able to get voice prints. Those are some applications. And then a chatbot. I don't want to be creating folders in my own.
Yes. Yeah. Well, basically what you need to do, this is a big project. This is huge. Okay. And your enthusiasm and your love for it comes through. And it's amazing that you were able to put all these pieces together for your dad. And I can see why somebody else would be like, you know what, that's really amazing. I would be willing to pay for something like that. But how do you scale this? And what I would look at is I would look at a company, StoryWorth, not as something that you're going to duplicate, but how they scaled a similar type of idea, meaning that every week they send a question to your loved one. And then your loved one can send an audio file back, or they can actually type out the answer to the question. And the question could be, what was your first car like? What was your best holiday season? What do you remember most about your mom? What was the thing about your dad that made him so incredibly special to you, or whatever it was? And then every week you get a question and I think it's I don't know, $100 a year, and then they give you a printed book, but then you're accumulating all this data. And then once you accumulate that data, that's where you can use things like Notion AI, or you can use ChatGPT and start creating your very own chat bot that will utilize those answers, will suck in the answers. That's a very technical term right there.
To write that one down.
Yeah.
Is that with 2 Ks?
Just 1 K.
Okay,
Just 1 K. You'd think it was 2 because it would be, and it's not. And it's not an acronym for anything. There's always an acronym when you talk about tech things. And we use Wondercraft for our very own AI podcast. We tried to use Notebook LM, but it sounded too NPR-ish for us. And Grant did a fabulous job on getting George, up and running. But so really what you're looking at, Bo, and I would put this into ChatGPT, how do I create my own chatbot that does X, Y, Z? And because you're going to need APIs, you're going to need some LLMs, and those are acronyms Sorry.
They don't suck.
And it's going to be a project, but it would be a great project. Would you sign up for something like this?
Absolutely. I wish that my parents were still with us so I could do something like that. Because, my parents were blue collar people that never even thought about the past because they didn't have the time or the energy. And it would be cool to have them experience that.
Bo, thank you for your call today. Appreciate you getting through. Let's see. How about Charles in Atlanta, Georgia? Hi, Charles.
Hi, Kim. Nice to talk to you.
So what's on your mind today, Charles?
Well, I have a band that I run with my partner out of Atlanta. It's a Chicago tribute. It's called Chi-Town Transit Authority. And as I explained, earlier, we are looking for a way to streamline the booking process with our venues. We usually play in performing arts centers. We've played from Connecticut to Florida, and we're going to Colorado soon.
Nice.
But we need help in vetting venues that would be appropriate for us. And also, we need a better way of communicating with our fans.
And what we're talking about is really using a service that is specifically designed for this, so that you're not going to have to recreate the wheel or the piano or what instrument do you play?
Right. Yeah.
What do you play?
I play trumpet.
Any singers?
Excuse me?
Anybody singing with it? With the band?
Oh yes, we have three-part harmony and we have a front man, lead singer Chase Fennell.
Sorry, Kim, they're all full.
No, he has a lead male singer,
Right.
Not a lead female singer.
Well, I tell you what, if we ever make it to Arizona, I'll be sure to contact you so you can sing on one number. Okay?
Be the last time you come to Arizona.
God, you guys, so mean to me. So mean. All right, so I want you to look at bandbuddy.ai.
BandBuddy.ai.
Okay, and what that does, it's an AI-powered assistant specifically made for bands. Okay.
Okay.
And so it'll help target venues. You could do fan emails. You can get it out there that you're going to be coming into town. And so as far as vetting the venues, what do you think, Andrew? I mean, that would be like social media.
Well, also, too, you could just go on ChatGPT and say,
ask.
this is a venue that's perfect for us. Here's who wants to book us. Does those two match up?
I'm taking notes as we speak.
But so look at bandbuddy.ai. It's also feature.fm. And then ask ChatGPT too, or your favorite chatbot. ChatGPT is number one right now. Mm-hmm. Grok is number two.
Is that the Twitter one?
Yeah.
Or the X, the Everything app?
And you know what number three is?
Yes, I do. Canva.
Gemini.
Okay. I thought I was so confident with Canva.
No, you know what? I almost wanted to believe you. I almost wanted to say you were right. But because you always make fun of me, I decided not to. Especially, I had nice Charles on the phone, and I was ready to sing.
Did you hear how hard he laughed? We're just having a good time, Kim.
Cybercrime is not slowing down. It's actually getting worse. Hackers are smarter, sneakier, and they're after everything. I'm talking about your devices, your data, even your bank account. So how the heck do you fight back? Well, one of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. Now, it scans for malware, blocks suspicious websites, stops hackers before they can do any damage. But you also have to be smart. A healthy dose of thinking twice when opening email or clicking links, it doesn't hurt either. It's important that you do that. But for the antivirus help that you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Here's what you need to do. Go to protectwithkim.com right now and get Total AV for just $19 for the first year. Covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. Please don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected right now. Go to protectwithkim.com, protectwithkim.com. Hey, listen, just a quick security tip. If you're out and about, I want you to make sure that you turn Bluetooth off when you're not using it, because this way, hackers won't be able to eavesdrop on your calls, crash your phone, or take total control. And by the way, never pair your gadget in a crowded place like an airport. Too many sketchy dudes there. Stay right where you are. We have more of the show coming up. Hey, if you want to glow from the inside out and get your natural radiance back with Native Path Collagen, some studies suggest collagen supplements may support bone health, tissue recovery, and overall skin and hair wellness. Right now, get 45% off, free shipping, and a free frother by going to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Barry in Sturgis, Michigan. Glad to have you with us. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Kim. I'm excited to talk to you.
Thank you.
It is so nice to be able to talk to somebody who has some technical interest and technical savvy and a broad range of resources behind you.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to get some info on this. Okay. What I got, my father was a big coin collector. And when we used to go on vacation, we would actually seek out coin shops, and he would go and he would find the ones that he was looking for. Mm-hmm. And, of course, most of those had a little wrapper on them, a little container that would tell the value and all the things on it. But since then, he's passed away, and it's been a long time, so the prices that are on them are no good. They're way out of date. And I have collected other things, along with like wheat sheaf pennies and other things, quarters and whatnot. I've been looking at these phone apps that will identify and value the coins. Now, I don't know if they are worth anything, whether the apps are worth anything, whether they could be scams.
Yeah.
Some of them do offer to buy the coin from you for a certain price. And I just thought, by golly, I'm going to talk to Kim and see if she has any insight on these coin evaluation apps.
Well, you know, they're always estimates, right? And you're smart to be careful because there seems like everywhere you turn lately, there's a scam around the corner. You know, it's just nutso. But like CoinSnap, CoinOscope, CoinIn.
Yep.
They use image recognition. They have large databases, and they match the photo to the coins that are out there. And it works best on easily recognizable coins. Where they fall short is that if it's a worn-out coin, an old coin, an extremely rare coin, you mean it's not a professional grading service, right? There's no authentication, so to speak. But it's not a bad way to at least start to try to figure out how much the coin is worth.
And once you've identified the coin, don't trust the apps to value it. Just take the description of whatever the coin is, go over to eBay, search for it, and then look at sold listings, and it'll tell you exactly what that coin is selling for.
Yeah, and that's important. The sold listings, not what they're asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone might want $10,000 for a penny from 1984. Doesn't mean that's what it's worth.
Right.
So what's the best coin that you have, Barry?
Oh my. I don't even know. I know he's got some key coins in the Washington quarters, and they're in pretty good shape. I would say that's probably the best. Is those ones that are few, not very many are minted, and then he's got them in a book so that they're a whole set. And these were the hardest ones for him to get. So I would say probably those pre-64 quarters, the Washington quarters.
Yeah, what's that? Well, how fun though. I mean, so when you're talking about this, Barry, what it reminds me of is that in my parents' stuff, we all have our parents' stuff.
Right.
Is that my dad and I collected stamps.
Oh.
And I still have his whole stamp collection.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Once again, the names of those: CoinSnap, CoinOscope, which we
That's
call
what
it.
I use.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
CoinOscope, and CoinIn. Barry, thank you for your call. So, Andrew, this is just a horrible story. In Haverford Township, Pennsylvania, an older woman was scammed out of $800,000. She was on her computer and she got a fake pop-up claiming that her social security number was linked to criminal activity. The scammers posed as federal investigators. They sent her official-looking emails and texts, and they called her. They convinced her that she was part of their team and that she could help the investigation. Over a few months, she converted her entire savings, this $800,000, into gold bars.
Don't tell me this is one of those meet in the parking lot and give them the gold.
They actually they went into her house.
Gosh.
Okay, not one time, not two times, 3 times. Guess where they were communicating? WhatsApp.
Oh, really?
Yes, exactly.
They used WhatsApp?
I know.
That's only the 12,490,000th time I've heard that. Poor lady.
So if you're listening right now and somebody's telling you that you're part of an investigation, or really just about anything, right, Andrew? And they tell you to go to WhatsApp,
right?
Stop.
We should make it's a scam checklist. Like,
we should.
Tom Cruise is reaching out, wants to talk to you. It's a scam. They want the conversation to move to WhatsApp because it's easier or more private. It's a scam.
Gold bars.
It's a scam.
Okay.
If they need you to buy gift cards, it's a scam.
Go to a Bitcoin ATM.
The IRS does not take Google Play gift cards as payment. It's
don't?
a scam.
Oh, come on, Andrew. I thought that I was going to pay my tax bill with Google Play gift cards.
Sorry, Kim. It's a scam.
Be sure that you enter to win our iPhone 16 Pro, a $999 value. Head to winfromkim.com. Do it now while you're thinking about it. Winfromkim.com. Hey, appreciate you being here. That's the end of hour one of the show. And be sure to tell your family members and friends how great it was.